Hello, welcome to our YouTube video. In this video, we are going to be going over a morning stretch routine. So this is something we get common from our patients, questions about what should I do for mobility, what should I do to keep up my mobility as I age, just a quick thing I can do in the morning or before bed. So this is the video for you if you've been looking for something like that. So the first thing we're going to go over is for your spine, okay? This is something I give to my patients like 9 times out of 10, whether they have low back pain or not. It's just a really good exercise that everyone should be doing, honestly, every morning. So what you're gonna do is get on your hands and knees, and then slowly and controlled, you're going to start going into a cat-camel or cat-cow, whatever you wanna call it. So you're gonna just round your spine as much as you possibly can, and you're gonna tuck your head underneath, and then you're gonna do the opposite. And you're gonna arch your spine, you're gonna look up, stick your butt out. And so I usually recommend people go through this 10 times, just back and forth, nice and slow and controlled. And then once you're done with that, you're gonna go directly into a child's pose where you just kind of push your butt back and sit on your feet. And you're gonna alternate between that and this press up position where you kind of look up to the ceiling. So you're kind of shooting your butt back, getting into some spinal flexion, and then shooting your butt forward and getting into some extension. So you're gonna do 10 of these right after those cat camels. After that, we're gonna go into some for our hips. So the next one, I'm gonna have you guys get into a half kneeling position. And then in this position, I just want you to take your pelvis and slightly just tuck it down a little bit. So if you're a dog and you're like tucking your tail between your legs, that's what you want to think about. So a little bit of a tuck, and then you should feel a gentle stretch in the front of your hip flexor there. You can rock forward just a little bit, just to intensify that a little. You can stay here for a minute or two, and then you're going to put your hands down and push your back knee up off the ground and just kind of sink into this like runner's stretch. I like to bounce up and down, keep it a little bit more dynamic. If you prefer to hold it, you can do that too. Then from here, I want you guys to put your knee back down, and I want you to rotate towards your front knee. So you're gonna rotate all the way up as far as you can, bring that hand down, and then you're gonna rotate away from your knee. That way will be a little harder. You can go back and forth like 5 times here. Then what you're gonna do is take this front leg and push it straight in front of you, and then you're just gonna kind of arch forward. This is more for a hamstring stretch, this part. So what I prefer to do is keep your back straight and then just hinge forward at your hips, and you should feel that pretty intensely in your hamstrings. This is a more efficient way to get a hamstring stretch as opposed to just like rounding your back down, because then you have to go a lot farther in order to feel something, where you really don't need to do that. You can just stay nice and tall and just hinge forward slightly, and you should feel that through your hamstring. And then that entire flow, I want you guys to do that on both sides. So you would, again, go back to the half kneel, do the hip flexor stretch, come down, push up, hang out here for a minute, do the rotation both ways, and then do the hamstring stretch. So you want to do that on both sides. If you guys were looking for a little bit more action in your hips, the next one I would recommend is getting into this 90-90 position. Once you're in this position, you can take your back butt cheek and kind of try to push it down towards the ground and just kind of rotate back and forth. Sometimes it's hard for people to even sit up tall in this position, so if you're like this, then you may need to keep your hands down and just kind of ease into it slowly. And then what you can also do is come down over your front knee, and then you'll get a glute stretch with that. So you should feel that in your front butt cheek, and you can just hang out there. And of course you would do this on both sides. So in order to switch, a little challenge for you, try to keep your feet where they are, and then just rotate your knees around. And honestly, just doing this a couple of times is really hard for some people. But if you have the mobility for it, it feels really good. And then again, do the same thing on the opposite side. So push that butt cheek down, rock back and forth, and then come down forward over that front knee. The last thing I'm gonna show you guys is for your upper body. So this is one of my favorite shoulder warm-ups, and it just feels so good to open up your shoulder and your chest and just get everything nice and open and functional in the morning. So you're gonna get on your side. You're gonna keep your knees bent up into your chest. And then you're gonna put your hands on top of each other and you're gonna try to reach that hand forward. And then you're gonna bring this all the way around, trying to keep it on the floor. Bring it all the way to your butt and then bring it all the way back around. If that's hard for you, you can always do this version instead, where you're just kind of opening instead of bringing it all the way around. So whichever version feels the best to you. And you can do like 5 to 10 on each side of those. Hopefully you guys found that helpful and got a few tips for some morning stretch routine ideas. Let us know if you have any questions about those movements, or if you guys give it a try, let us know down below, and hopefully you found some value in that.